What's up guys, ManontheMoon here with another video, and today I am going to be doing a character build guide, and this time we are going to be going over Princess. I don't usually do a lot of character build guides on promo characters like when they first come out. But I've had a lot of people asking me how I set my princess up, and like what team she's on and everything. And I've done the first two teams of my defense team builds, and I thought before I actually do the Denise team, I would just go ahead and do Princess's build all on her own. Mainly just because people have asked for it. That's the real reason. So yeah, as always, I'd like to remind you guys to like and subscribe for more content. It helps out the channel. That's really all it comes down to. Other than that, as usual, I hope this helps and I hope you enjoy. So let's get to it. Now, as usual, I'll be going over the skills I upgraded, the combat mods I've got on her currently, and not only the weapon that I have on her in the team, in my Denise team, but also just a couple suggestions for good, just good weapons in general. Because the one that I have on her is just something I've made from scratch versus like one of the weapons we've received. But as you can see here, like in the Denise team I've got her in, she's at 97.6k defense and almost 67,000 HP. Like, she is stacked in this team. Now, as far as the skills go, it seems to be a bit of a... I kind of miss the old days, right? Where, like, you didn't have to do everything. Not to say that I want passives that are bad, but like all of these passives on her are really good. Impact absorption at the start of each wave, all teammates get 10% damage over time reduction for each strong and alert teammate for 3 turns. Between that and impact absorption 2, I mean, that's 100% dot reduction for the first 3 turns to all strong and alert, which, I mean, like me, she's in a Denise team, so it's literally all strong. Absolutely, 100% has to be maxed out. Precision, you really, you want her having that just because of the taunt. Even if somebody has a Paragon taunt resist mod, there's still only, with the precision, it's still only 50%, so you gotta have that. The hassle-free 1 and 2. Now, I will say that hassle-free 2, I obviously, as you can see here, I didn't actually, I only went to 14 because, there again, that extra, I always say it, that extra like 2 or 3% you'll get, if it's not bringing you to 100%, it's just not worth the trainer. So, I mean, it ends up being 68% chance that the fight, that she recovers from 2 penalties. That's still a huge number though, it's 2/3 of the time. And then of course provocation 1 of 2, at the start of each wave and turn, 100% chance to taunt 2 support role enemies for 2 turns. It's just rude. Like, I put out that video of that compilation video of Wars vs Princess, and like there were a couple times I used Sophia, but for the most part she just, I mean, like, she gets hard countered, even with a really good taunt resist, she's just taunted all the time. And I just ended up having to build a whole new team for, you know, to combat Princess. And it's really just because of these passives, you know? Now, as far as the mods go, pretty basic setup. I went HP set. I did double down on the defense versus, as you can see, you know, just defense versus alert, defense versus tough. You know, real nice reflect mod. I've got that Paragon defense mod. Yes, I know it's offset bonus, but who cares, man? It's a 27% defense mod, you know? And then just a real good trauma resist mod, because that is the one thing, you know, like, she can cleanse everything else, and, you know, I mean, not to say she can't cleanse trauma, but, like, if she doesn't cleanse that trauma first, she's taking mad damage. So personally, that's the only resist I have on her, because I just, you know, she's got that cleanse passive. Everything else I'm just not worried about. And it seemed to work fairly well over the weekend. I have worked on the weapon a little bit. I need to try and balance out her stats a little more, because right now she has like 25,000 more defense than HP. But I like this setup, I do. Let me know what you're running on her, though. Are you guys, like, what resists are you running, or what are you running in the wild card slot? Let me know down in the comments below. Now, as far as the weapon goes, this is the weapon that I'm currently using on her, like, using/building for her. As you can see, it's not done. I need to reset it, because I am going for the minus 50% crit damage, and obviously I need to max out. I'm going to add another 5% defense, so it'll be 40% defense, 35% HP, teammate reviving, and then minus 50% on the critical damage. She'll be a window, right? Like, but that's okay, because I kind of look at Vengeance itself as making a character windowless, because you're not going to just want to freely basic attack her. You're just not. You're not going to want to add damage to that bide. You don't want to attack Princess unless you think you're getting kills. So I'm not worried about people gaining AP off of her. And I think that's just a really good weapon for her. Like, I thought about stun on attack, honestly, but, like, she doesn't do that many basics. I just don't think it would be that good. Now, I do think there are a couple of other weapons floating around that would be pretty good for her. Now, one, I do think that walk weapon would be good on her. The problem is that you kind of want her taking damage. And I don't know about you guys, but, like, for me, Princess is pretty much the strongest character on my Denise team. I don't think she necessarily needs more help getting stronger. I think other characters, like, I'm pretty sure I've got William holding this weapon myself. And it's just because William needs that extra survivability versus a lot of these new characters, as to where Princess can kind of just survive it without needing that extra help. Next up, I got Carrie Ann's sword in here. Now, this is actually the weapon I had on her myself last weekend during war. I hadn't, like, finished, not to say that I finished Princess's weapon yet, but, like, I hadn't even finished the 4-star version of it, and I was testing out other weapons, And this one actually seemed to do fairly well. That 4 slot, that elusive 4 slot is kind of cheesy. I saw a lockdown do a few duels against me, and I definitely saw the AP down proc quite a few times. And then she just seemed to constantly have elusive, which I frustrating as all hell. So I would say that this is probably a pretty good weapon to have on her. Maybe you would want to change the 3rd slot to bonus defense when being attacked by enemies over 50%. Maybe. But then that would take away from like some of your stats there, and I don't know. I don't know if I would want to like sacrifice stats if I didn't have to. And finally, we got Kelly's Saw Club. Now, as you can see here, I honestly wasn't even 100% sure what was on this weapon to start with. I built this weapon to be for Ronaldo because he was an attacking bide and he didn't need AP at all. So I was just like, alright, give him attack, give him HP, give him 1535. But like looking at what this weapon started with, at the start of battle and turn, get 3% defense for 1 turn for each debuff on the enemy's living team. There are so many debuffs that defense teams give out these days that like I could see that her constantly having like at least a 30% defense bonus. Now I will say that like in that scenario you're only getting 35% HP and like 40% defense, so like the stats aren't great, and I would still say that the minus crit reduction would even be better. So like if you were to try and put that on there, it would only be 35 and 35, which just isn't great. But it's an option. You know what I mean? Like I went out and built a new one just because I wanted to get those extra bits of stats. But not everybody's going to have the resources, the time, the patience, or even the desire to do that. So if you've got one of these sitting around, that could be a good idea. Plus the fact that it's improved teammate reviving. You know, it's not even the regular version. It is the improved version. Alright guys, well that was my character build guide for Princess. I hope it helped. And if you guys got any ideas, as always, let me know, because I've said it before and I'll say it again. You know, there's lots of times where I make videos and then I get suggestions and then I try it out and I'm just like, yeah, that's way better. So please, if you got suggestions, give them to me. Other than that, like I said, I hope it helped, and until next time, remember guys, it is a game, so try and have fun. This is going to be your friendly neighborhood man on the moon, signing off. Later guys.